Hey everybody, what's going on? This is Harry Hot Sauce Kerbo, the Senior Director of Paid Social Media here at CINC. Very excited to be joining you for CINC Rev this year. I'm going to be talking to you about how you can create a Facebook ad funnel for your business to move people down with lower cost objectives till you finally get to that conversion step. So I'm going to hop right into it. I am just going to pop over here. And so getting started, I think the first question that we should answer is, why? Why do I want to do this as a funnel? Why don't I just drive people right to my website and try to get them to convert? That's easier, right? It may be easier, yes, but the real answer is it's more expensive. Facebook is a website, just like anybody else's website. You don't want people coming to your sync website just to leave, right? You want to keep people on that sync website as long as you can, or any website, whatever website that is, whether it's a blog or another real estate site outside of sync, or geez, even your own Facebook page. Like, why are you putting videos and things up on your Facebook page to get people to interact with you and stay there with you? And Facebook thinks the same way. So I actually saw this at a conference once, and it literally blew my mind. I'd been working in Facebook ads for several years at that point, but had never thought about it this way. The presenter said Facebook wants you to build ads as a funnel. And Facebook literally sets up their objectives this way. And she showed us this screen that you're looking at right now. And she said, look at what's at the top, right? Look at what's at the top. There are three different buckets. There's awareness, consideration, and conversion. And that's the funnel that Facebook thinks you should move people down because of the way that the targeting is done on Facebook. And if you set things up this way, you'll find that by the time people get to these conversion objectives, that the cost is going to be cheaper because it's cheaper to start by showing reach and brand awareness ads to people to familiarize them with your brand. And then from there, take videos or take blog posts, show them to those same people using custom audiences. And I'm going to show you how to do that to drive them to your site, to get them to start to consider you, right? You've generated that awareness. Now they're starting to consider you. Okay, maybe this is someone that I want to work with. And then from there, take it to that conversion objective. Hey, you've interacted with one of our ads about what we do. You've watched a video. You've read some blog posts. You know who we are now, right? You've become aware. You've considered us. And now it's time for us to ask you to convert, ask you to take some kind of action, whether that's sign up as a lead on our site, buy something on our site, whatever that might be. So awareness, consideration, conversion, those are the steps in the funnel. And I'm going to show you how we do it at Sync on the corporate side and relate that to the real estate side of things as well. So what you'll need to create your funnel on Facebook, always want to be prepared at the start, right? So of course, you're going to need some funnels, some plastic tubing, a whole lot of beer. I'm just playing. Different kind of funnel. But really, what you should do when you sit down to plan this out is take inventory of the current assets that you have for your brand and really plan that funnel out, right? So look at things like videos, blogs that you have that might make sense, testimonials, whether those are written or in video format, different thought leadership pieces. Maybe you talk about, hey, a new park was just built in this neighborhood and this is what it's going to do to property values there, or this trend is happening and this is what's going to result from it. So different thought leadership pieces that you might have. Things about different loan types or different programs and who that might apply for, who may be able to take advantage of that. And I think on the real estate side, specifically, listings are something that is very unique, but also very interesting to people. People that are looking to purchase a home, they want to see listings, they want to know what's out there, and that's really the great piece of information that you can provide to those people that would convince them to sign up, would convince them to convert eventually. And then the question that you should ask yourself is, okay, I'm going to tell this story. What is the most logical path for me to take someone down? So, looking at us on the Sync corporate side, a lot of our ad funnels will start with a brand awareness or reach objective that's a video. just introducing CINC. Hey, this is who we are. This is what we do. Learn more about us. And of course, we have links in those ads for people to click on and to sign up to request a demo. Of course, we would love that. We don't want to turn that away, but that's not really the objective of that ad. We don't look at that and say, oh, well, only 2 people signed up for a demo from this brand awareness video ad this month. This ad is a failure. No, we look at it and say, oh man, 10,000 people watched at least half of this video this month, and that puts them into our next audience for more marketing. And I'm going to go through that entire waterfall with you on the sync side. But ask yourself that question, right? If you were on the other side of this, what is the most logical path that would make sense to you, where you would get to know about a business, then you would get to know about their expertise, and then you would see something that really says, okay, yes, I'm ready to pull the trigger. I'm ready to go through and speak with these people. Think about it that way. Everybody still with me out there? Following along? Awesome. All right, I'm going to show you what our ads and our funnel look like now. I am just going to pop right back over here. So here are a couple of ads that are in the first step of our funnel for new clients. These are being shown to several different groups of people. Some of them are people who have attended webinars or subscribed to our blog. Some of them are people who are in our database from requesting a demo, but not signing up as clients. Some of them are lookalike audiences of all the traffic we've gotten in the last 180 days from Google, who are searching for our site and click through to learn more from there, or people who opened our lead ad forms but didn't convert, or people who did convert on the lead ad forms, making lookalike audiences out of those. So I think that's a really important thing as well. Don't just show this to one group of people. And don't include everybody that you want to show it to in one ad set, in one audience, because segmenting it like that really helps you to see what's working. So just going to click through on these videos here to let you see. But the main thing I want you to notice with these is, we're not promoting testimonials at this point. We don't have people saying, man, Sync is great. It's done all this stuff for me. And the reason for that is most of these people that are seeing this probably don't know who we are just yet. So we want to put things in front of them to introduce Sync, and introduce what we do. And then on the back end, within Facebook, let me show you these audiences here. So these are the audiences that are showing to step one, right? So we've got audiences based off webinar attendees, different database exports. Again, like I mentioned, the Google traffic, and a lookalike audience of those people, a lookalike audience of all the people who clicked on our lead ad and then signed up. And it's interesting to look at the different video percentage watched. So most of these people are watching at least a fourth of the video, which is really good. Here's an audience that's not performing as well. And this is what I talk about with the importance of segmenting this, right? Because this can help me decide what to focus on in further steps of the funnel, or who to create content for as we go down the funnel. But also in other campaigns, I can see, oh, hey, the 2 to 3% lookalike audience of this database export performed really, really well. Same with the 1 to 2% export custom audience. So uh, there's a lot that you can glean from segmenting the audience this way. And then on the back end, going back over to the video here, we do have the links with a call to action to request a demo. And of course, we want people to click that. That's great, but we understand that most probably won't. So what we're doing on the back end here is we're creating audiences of people who view certain amounts of the video. And then those are the people who see testimonials in step two. That's what I'm going to show you next. So you may be asking, how are you creating these audiences? Where do you do that in Facebook? If you've ever run Facebook ads on your own before, you've probably heard of Facebook's custom audiences. So this may be old hat to you, but I do want to show everybody where we're going. So to create these audiences, we're going to click in the hamburger icon here in the top left corner. of the Facebook Ads Manager. And then here you've got tons of options, right? But where we're going is audiences. So here, if you look, Facebook lists out all the different types of custom audiences that you can make. And we've really got it segmented into two different buckets here. So as we look at our funnel, step one in the funnel, most of those audiences are coming from this top section here. And for us, most of it is coming from website or customer list. So website, that's going to be your typical retargeting. You can segment it by people who have visited your website in general, people who have visited specific pages of your site. One of the things I really like is you can prioritize the audience by, let's say, the top 25% of people who have been on your website, who have spent the most time on that site within the last 30 days. And I think this can be really relevant for real estate, right? Like, let's say that you have a buyer ad for homes for sale in an area, or a listing for sale in an area that's really, not super nice for where the area is, not prohibitive in terms of cost, but it's a nice home, right in that sweet spot of price point for the area. You can create an audience of maybe all the people who have spent or maybe the 50% of people who have spent the most time on your website over the last 30 days. Because if you think about it, at least with most of the sync sites that are IDX based, or display the MLS feed, people that are spending time on your website, most of them are probably browsing homes. So if you create that audience of, the top half or top quarter of people that spent the most time on your site in the past X amount of time, you're probably going to hit those people who are most seriously looking for homes, because again, they're spending that time. What else are they doing unless they just leave the browser window open, which could be some of them. And then from there you can further ratchet that down, doing it based on URL. Maybe excluding people that have the string of URL that's for sellers. If you only want to target buyers. So there's a lot of really cool stuff that you can do here. So website, customer list, again, these are where most of our audiences for step one of the funnel are coming from. So customer list, that's going to be you've exported a list of names, or you have a list somehow of people. And I shouldn't say names. What you really want to have for Facebook is phone number and email address, especially if you can get mobile phone, because Facebook is so good at getting your updated mobile phone number. I don't know, I haven't seen it as much recently, but when you log into Facebook, a lot of times to say, hey, make sure that we have your most up-to-date mobile phone number for security reasons, right? But there's other benefits to Facebook outside of that. They make money by driving ad revenue. So when you take that list and you add phone numbers and email addresses to this custom audience, Facebook actually looks at its user base and tries to match people. So that's a great way to specifically hit the people that you want to target with your ads. And with anything with Facebook custom audiences, or any kind of audience, the bigger the better. Of course, there's a limit. Like, you don't want to show it to everybody in the country, but the more people that you can reasonably include in your audience, just gives Facebook's algorithm more opportunities to show the ad, more opportunities to find people to convert, and more opportunities to learn and learn faster. So customer list is another really commonly used audience type. Um, and then for us, for the specific ads that we showed you, so for step one, we have these website and these customer list audiences. We actually created one in that step one targeting that I showed you from a lead form export. So uh, we created an audience of everyone who had converted on one of our lead ads in a certain amount of time. And we didn't want to show the ad to them because we're trying to find new clients, and these people have already signed up. But we did want to find other people that looked like them. So we created the audience, and then from there, we created a custom or lookalike audience of people that look like those people that converted on the lead form. And then in step two of the funnel, the way that we got that audience is, remember both of those ads were video ads. So we created video engagement custom audiences. And what you do here is you select the video that displays in the ads. Um, for us, it was, the two videos that I showed you, and then you can choose who goes in the audience based on a certain behavior. So, people that watched a certain amount of the video, whether percentage based or in actual time, you can add those people to the audience. And then for us, that's what goes in step two of the funnel. And those are the people who see the ads. And another just kind of cool trick I picked up along the way here, I know you can't target ads to people who are in Facebook groups specifically, but if you're in a Facebook group and you want to show ads to those people, these video engagement custom audiences are a great way to do that. So create a video that is specific to that group, post it in the group. Of course, make sure it follows all the group rules and all that good stuff. Um, but then you can create uh, an engagement audience of people who watch that video. And if you do a specific one for each group, you know specifically where that audience came from, and you can make the barrier to entry, very low. I think 3 seconds is the lowest. So take everybody who saw at least 3 seconds of that video, which honestly, if it auto plays when people see it in the group, that's going to be most people. You can take that slice of people who have watched your video, and that's going to be people from that group who are interested in that topic. So these custom audiences, these engagement audiences, are extremely powerful. All right, so now we're ready for step two of the funnel. So just to recap, we used custom audiences and lookalike audiences. Let me show you guys where to create. If you want to do lookalike audiences, they're going to be right here. So we created custom audiences and lookalike audiences in a short video in step one, just to introduce sync, right? We're not using testimonials. We're not using really long videos. Both of those videos were just under 45 seconds. So, the shorter the better, as long as you can get your point across. And we showed those videos to those colder traffic audiences. So exports from our database, remarketing audiences based on activity they've taken on our sites. Uh, you know, those larger top of the funnel audiences were what we were using in step one. And then we created a video engagement custom audience. So we took all of the people who watched a certain percentage of that first video and we dropped them into the audience for step two. And as you can see, we've reached almost 5,000 people in this audience, so it's sizable now. We've been running this for a while, but the audience is sizable now. We've got over 6,000 through plays, and what a through play is if your video is shorter than 15 seconds, then that measures the amount of times that your video was watched to completion. If it's longer than 15 seconds, which ours are in this account or in this ad set, then it counts the number of times that people watched at least 15 seconds. So step one, we've introduced ourselves. We didn't talk about testimonials. We talked about what we did. We didn't put long videos. We put shorter ones. And then we cultivated an audience of everyone who watched at least a portion of that, because that expresses interest. And again, the benefit of that is we aren't asking them to leave Facebook, which is typically more expensive and Facebook doesn't like as much. We kept everything on Facebook. And that's why they give you these tools, these audience tools, because again, they want people to stay on Facebook. So now we're to step two. And in step two, we're touting more of the benefits of sync. And for us, we use client testimonials for that. So here's a couple of those, just so you guys can see what they look like. Oh, sorry. Um, so again, you guys can see, the wording is actually the same between these two. And again, we have a call out to sign up for a demo if they'd like. But these testimonials are showing actual clients that are using Sync, and they talk about the benefits of Sync. Okay, so again, we've introduced CINC, we've introduced what it is, and now we want to show real people who are like those people in our audience who use CINC and who talk about the benefits of it. And the thought there is, I mean, think about anything that you buy. What do you trust more? An ad that you see on Facebook, or someone that you know, or someone in a similar position to you speaking about that and how it has worked? And again, these are videos. So if you can guess what step three of the funnel is going to consist of, I'll give you a second. That's right. More video engagement, custom audience ads. So once we've run these, we go back and we repeat the same process. We go back into the ads manager and we create an audience, custom audience, and again, video views. And here we're going to put, we have 6 client testimonials in step 2 of the funnel, so 6 videos that we're pulling from. We're going to create an audience of people who have watched at least a certain portion of those videos, and you can play with it, right? Like if you want more people in the audience, you can make that threshold lower. The trade-off there is, maybe the quality is not going to be as great as if you made the threshold higher. Because if, let's say that that's a 3-minute video, I mean, in today's world, when movies don't even have introductions anymore, they don't even have the credits at the beginning. You got to get right into something. Asking someone to watch 3 minutes of a video is a big ask. So, you could make an audience of people who watched 100% of that video. It's probably going to take you longer to populate that audience, and there will always be less people in it than there would if you did, say, 3 seconds on the other end, which is what, 1% of that video. Um, but the people who watch 100% of that video, the quality is probably going to be higher. And maybe that's something that, going back to the multiple audiences that we have in step one, maybe that's something that you want to do. Create an audience of people who watch 3 seconds, or people who watch 25% to 50% to 75% to 100%, and compare how those are working for you. But use those custom audiences, especially as you introduce this funnel. And now it's time for the all important step three. We went to the party. We didn't just say, hey, buy this, hey, buy this. We went there, we talked to people, we met people, schmoozed a little bit, we got to know them, we told them about what we did. Those were the first 2 steps of that funnel. And now we have created an audience of people who are interested in what we do and are considering purchasing what we do. So again, going back to this, we started in step one of the funnel with the awareness bucket. So using brand awareness and reach ads. From there, we moved to the consideration bucket. And for that, we use the video views objective, just trying to show the ad to as many people in the audience as we created in step one that are likely to view that video. From there, we create another audience, another video views audience, because again, this was step two of our funnel was based on video views. We actually use the lead generation objective, which is still in the consideration bucket in terms of Facebook, but we use it a bit differently. A lot of people will use the lead generation objective for, providing a name and email address to sign up for a mailing list, something like that. We use the lead generation ad type to request demos, and we see a lot of success with that. But conversions is the other typical ad type that you might see in step three of this funnel. So again, we have started with a very informational video, short informational video in step one to a very broad audience. Used the people that watched that video to narrow that audience down for what we showed in step two, which was testimonials of real estate clients using CINC and talking about the benefits that they've gained from it. Now we're going to further define that funnel and take the people who have watched at least some of those videos and show them one of our conversion ads. And so that's what this looks like. An example from the campaign. The big difference here is, now we're going in for the ask. We're saying, hey, you've watched stuff about us, you know about us. Now we want to know if you want to have an official demo. We want to know if you want to become a CINC client. So The link here goes to a request a demo page, and then if they click learn more, then they're able to go through and request a demo through our lead ad form. When they submit this, it goes to one of our sales team members, and they reach out and try to schedule a demo with the person. So again, we've gone 3 steps now. And by doing this, we actually lessen the cost. When we started doing this, we saw close to a 50% drop in cost per sign up for people requesting a demo. And it's because in the past, we used to just say, we were that guy at the party, right? Who's got business cards in hand saying, hey, sign up, sign up, sign up, sign up. Our only exposure to those people were through conversion ads. And that guy at the party, he may find someone that really needs the service that he's providing and he may get a sign up, but he's not building those relationships. And over time, that strategy is going to cost you more. And that's what we saw. So when we switched to this funnel approach of introduction video, testimonial videos, and there's also some blog content spliced into that section too, as well, when it's relevant. To asking for the conversion, we saw a big drop in cost per lead. And for a lot of people, this is where the funnel ends. And I think that's a mistake. We take it one step further, and it's a recent thing that we've implemented that's been really successful. And I want to show you that last. All right, so we're to the end of our funnel, right? We started with the awareness objectives, introducing our brand to people. Then we moved to a consideration objective, helping people to learn more about what we do and why they should work with us. Then we went for the conversion. We asked people to sign up. And again, I think this is where a lot of funnels end. But when we were looking at the data, and our conversion rates, by the way, went up by a great deal when we instituted this funnel instead of just asking people to sign up for a demo. But it still wasn't 100%. And I understand it will probably never be 100%. But to me, I don't understand why someone watched that first video to the point where they watched it enough to be put in our second audience, then watched at least one of those videos to the point where they were put into our conversion objective audience, and then saw the conversion ad, clicked on it, but then when we asked them for their information, they didn't sign up. And I don't understand that. So we went back to the drawing board as a team, had some discussions, and that's one of the things I love the most about social media marketing is trying to get in the heads of people on Facebook and Instagram and LinkedIn, whatever you might be on. TikTok. That'll be next year's ThinkRev presentation. But why are these people not converting? Was the question that we set out to answer. And our thought process was, you know, okay, I know enough about this company. I'm interested in what they do. I think their service might work for me. Our ad is not asking people to buy outright, but to set up a demo. So maybe they're just not ready to talk to someone yet. They have some question that we didn't answer in the funnel. There's some outstanding question that they have that we didn't answer, and they're not ready to speak to a salesperson to get that question answered. They don't want to take that step of submitting their name, their email address, and their phone number. And to parallel that to real estate, they've watched the informational videos that drop them to a conversion ad, but they're just not ready to submit their phone number because today's consumer, today's person on social media, on the internet, I think understands that if I give you my phone number, you're going to call me. And that just makes sense. So they aren't ready to give that yet. So we instituted a fourth step in our funnel that's really driven good results in a messenger ad. So again, we went back to our audiences and we created a custom audience. This time, remember in step 3 of the funnel, it was a lead ad. So we created an audience from a lead ad form and we took every person who opened the lead ad form but did not convert. Let me say that again. We created an audience of every person who opened our lead ad form in step 3. So these people had been down the funnel. They opened the form, They saw what we were asking them to give us, and they closed the form without submitting. And our hypothesis there was that, again, these people have some question that we haven't answered, but they aren't ready to submit their information to an unknown, to have a call from an unknown to get that question answered. So we then took that audience and we created a messenger ad. And it's very simple, it's very straightforward. Have questions about the CINC platform? We're here to help. From pricing to features to implementation, we're just a button click away. Click send message below to chat with one of our implementation specialists and learn how we can help your specific situation. So we're putting ourselves out there. Hey, if you have questions, let us know what they are. You know who we are, you know what we do, you've thought about submitting a request for a demo, but you didn't. So, what are those questions? And what we saw was people submitting questions that they may not want to get on the phone with someone to ask. They care about those answers, but they don't care enough to give us their phone number. And answering those questions on Messenger, which is a very frictionless way. They're already on Facebook. They don't have to give us their information to speak with us. I mean, we can see who they are and some basic Facebook information, but they don't have to give up that personal information of their phone number to get the question answered. And what we started to see when we implemented this was people sending us questions. It makes sense. Hey, what's the price? Hey, what's the cost per lead in this area? Hey, I want to move from this CRM to your CRM. What does that look like? And by answering those questions, we're able to set more demos and get more ROI out of that ad spend. So I would always recommend, as you implement this approach, to include that fourth step that I think a lot of people don't do and use Facebook Messenger. Because the whole point of this is to get someone into a database to start a conversation with them. Let's just start the conversation now. All right, so there's our funnel in all its glory. Got a few points to wrap up here, and maybe just a quick walk down, what a funnel campaign might look like for your real estate business. So I'm gonna blow myself up here real quick. All right, that's better. So what might this look like for your real estate business? Something that might make sense to me is, let's say that first step of the campaign is an overarching video that you show to a very broad audience in the area where you serve, talking about your business, your expertise, what you do, just introducing yourself and your brand to those people who could potentially be interested. Again, remember to keep it short and keep the audience as broad as you can while it still makes sense. So we don't want to show it to everyone in the world. If you sell real estate in Atlanta, showing it to someone in England doesn't make much sense. But ratchet that down as much as you can, but still include as many people as you can that make sense, because you never know who might purchase a home, and everybody needs homes. So then take the people who watch that video, and again, you can play around with, maybe it's people who just started, or maybe it's people who watch 50% or all of it. But remember, the more stringent you make those qualifications to be in the audience, the fewer people are going to be in it, and the longer it'll take your campaign to really get running efficiently. But those people, the more stringent you make it, it stands to reason that the quality is going to increase each time you do that as well. So play with that, see what makes the most sense and what drives the best return for your business. And then so that video is going to give you your pool of people who are interested in the service that you provide in your area, whether they be buyers or sellers. And this is just one way to do it. Of course, you can do it your own way. Uh, but let's say from there you have a listing that you want to show. So something you could do is show a listing video, a virtual tour, walkthrough, one of the drone videos, anything like that. Show a listing video to all of those people in your audience who watched a certain percentage of the ad. And you could even include like a blog post or something about the neighborhood where that video is, and use the people who engage with that to then show that conversion ad. hey, you watched a video, and this wouldn't be the wording, but hey, you watched a video about this ad. Do you want to come tour it? Right? And then for the seller side, you could do something similar. So again, starting from that big database of your main video and everyone who seems to be interested in real estate in your area, you could walk down a seller path. Maybe it is, maybe that um, consideration step is asking someone to request a market report for their area, or maybe it is a blog about how home values are changing in your area. Or going back to that first example, maybe it's a blog about, hey, there's a park going in here, or a Walmart, or a Costco, or who knows, a Fuddruckers. That doesn't get used very much as an example. There's a Fuddruckers going in next to this neighborhood, and how is that going to impact your property values? Or the school zones in this neighborhood are very good, and here's how that impacts your property values. That kind of stuff. So again, you're not asking someone to sign up, but you are asking them to take an easier action than signing up, and then take those people who took that action and show them an ad to request their home's value, or whatever that might be. Request what their sales price would look like under a certain program. There's a ton of options out there. You guys can get creative, but then always on the back end, remember to throw that messenger ad on the back end of that funnel, because I think again that's something that most people aren't doing, and doing things that other people aren't doing is what sets you apart and really drives results. Uh, there are people that will walk down that funnel and will get to the conversion step and will balk at it because they have a question that they're not ready to ask you on the phone. So give them the option to ask you that question on Messenger. That's their preferred method of interacting with you at this point. Give them that option. All right, so that's it for me. Really want to thank everybody for sticking with me. I've gone over my allotted time. I'm sure Jamie, our VP of Marketing, is shaking her head because that is my standard operating procedure. So thanks again to everybody who has stuck with me through this whole thing. I hope you took some value from it. We really appreciate you guys coming out and watching Sync Rev, and we will see you next year.